Good morning. Now, the other day I made a video about how I got into knife throwing, and I've been thinking about it. It's about time I did some practice. So I've brought out the big knives today, ones that I'm not as familiar with. I'm not as good with them. But with it being a weekend, I can't practice at work, and that's where my target is. So I'm into the woods. A couple of things about throwing in the woods. Obviously, well away from public footpaths. Danger aspect, of course, and also if I get a member of the general public walking past and sees me throwing a 13-inch Bowie about, they're going to be straight onto the police, aren't they? I suppose rightly so. So yeah, I need to hide up a little bit. I've come up into the large pine section of this particular wood because that's what I'm looking for. If you're going to throw at trees, they need to be dead because we don't want to damage live trees. They need to be soft, so ideally pine. Again, a safety aspect. If you do the perfect throw, sticks lovely, point first, fine. If your throw's a little bit off and it bounces back, if you're throwing at a closer distance, it could be quite dangerous. So with a softer, dead standing pine, something like that, even if you don't get your throw right, it's more likely to stick into it rather than fly back and hit you. So that's what I'm looking for. I need an old, dead standing pine tree, which is like the Holy Grail. But let's see how we get on. Been throwing for 3 or 4 minutes. You wouldn't want to have seen the first few with knives pinging off all over the place. It's very much a psychological sport. It's hard to get your head in the zone sometimes. Plus, I haven't done it for so long. A lot of it's muscle memory, and it's sort of relearning this length, this weight, the rotations, the distance, and so on. But we're getting there. Over rotation. Over rotation again. Over rotation by miles. Normally this happens, it is if your grip's a bit too short, go a little bit longer, slows the rotation. Or alternatively, if you've got a grip you like and you want to stick with it, just move a little bit closer, just this much, just to shorten the distance so it has less time to turn. Way over rotating still. It's funny, normally once you miss with one, it upsets your mind, and then you keep missing. But seeing as how I keep over rotating, I don't want to change my grip because I've started to get back into that. So I'll come a fraction closer. And just that fraction, 1 under rotation, 2 didn't even stick. Mind games. Drives you nuts. changed my grip slightly mid of these three. I moved my hand down about that much. That's the difference it made. Been doing the sport a while and it still messes with my head. Right, try something different. Right, I've been throwing from about 10 feet roughly, a bit more maybe, 3.5 meters. And I've been throwing by the handle. You could throw it either way up because of how these are shaped. I like to throw it that way. You get a better point to go in, so to speak, than that. So yeah, I've been throwing them like that with the bottom of the handle roughly here. I did try one throw where I moved up just that much. I'm sure you saw the difference. It's still stuck, but it changed the angle completely, just that little bit. So yeah, I'm comfortable now like that. What I'm going to do now is blade throw. Because of the shape of these, they're not sharpened, but it does come to a finer edge there. I'm not really comfortable that way around. It's broader this side, so I'll throw it this way. When I'm throwing by handle, I have thumb sort of this position, but with these, you know, it's just not comfy, so I'll be throwing more like this. With the smaller knives, blade throw, I use what they call a pinch grip, which is more like that. Curled fingers one side, thumb the other, squeezing between. But because of the weight of these, they're quite difficult to pinch grip. You haven't got the control, it's a bit like this. So I'll curl my fingers, and when I adjust throwing these, if my angle's slightly wrong, it's literally the amount of fingers I have here. If I want to go a bit longer, I'll go down to 2 fingers. Shorten up, I'll go 3 fingers. I'll never change more than that in either direction because it makes a huge difference, just that little adjustment. The other thing, of course, I need an extra half rotation, otherwise it's going to be handle hitting. So I'm going to come back to start with about a foot, maybe 30 centimeters. See how that works out. The first few throws will tell me probably, and then adjust from there. Two out of 3 for the very first attempt. That's not bad. So I'll make a little mark here. It's obviously got a good distance for me for that amount of rotations. And now a bit more practice. Look at the difference. I shouldn't have thrown the first one. I knew in my hand it didn't feel quite right. My grip wasn't quite right. Yeah, I still threw it. Second 2, how lovely and straight they are. I kept the technique the same, the power the same, the distance the same, just settled the grip slightly to how it should be. That was the result. Quite respectable, I think, seeing as I haven't thrown them for nearly 2 years. Backed off the power slightly, less rotation, they're all uphill. But at least they all stuck. unlike that. Ah, there you go, it's gone. Just get one little thing, upset your mojo, it all goes to shit. Mind you, I suppose it proves that I'm not editing this video in any way. If it was perfect all the time, you'd think, ooh, I'm not sure. We all make mistakes. I think also, it's very much a mind game, as I've said, and where I'm normally just concentrating, it's normally just me, the knife and the target. I'm filming, I've got that in my mind at the same time, and it is not getting in the way, but it's something else to think about rather than fully concentrating. But I'm having fun anyway. So it's the first time I've used these for nearly 2 years, and I still enjoy using them. Anybody that's never done knife throwing, maybe just get a cheap set. They're not brilliant, the cheap ones, but get a cheap set and just have a go. I find, it's going to sound weird, but it's a great way to relax. It does take a lot of concentration, but you are just focusing on what you're doing and the target. There's nothing else out there. It's a great way to escape, let's put it that way. Okay, thanks for watching.